What if I told you your life has no meaning? Not a hidden meaning, not a deep purpose, nothing. And the scary part, even if there was a meaning, you would never be able to fully understand it. This is exactly what the philosopher Albert Camus believed. According to him, the universe doesn't explain anything to you. It doesn't tell you why you're here. It doesn't guide you or give you answers. It just exists, silent, vast, and completely indifferent. And once you truly understand this, a very uncomfortable question appears. If nothing has meaning, then what's the point of anything you do? Why wake up? Why work hard? Why care about anything at all? And more importantly, is life even worth living? As humans, we naturally want meaning. We want our lives to make sense. We want to believe that everything we go through, our struggles, our pain, our efforts, has a purpose. That is why so many people follow belief systems, religion, ideologies, philosophies. These systems give answers. They tell us where we came from, why we are here, and what we should do. They give structure to life. They give comfort. Even if those answers cannot always be proven, they still feel satisfying. But Camus had a problem with this. He believed that when we accept such beliefs just to feel better, we are avoiding reality. He called this philosophical suicide. It means giving up reason in order to feel comfort. Camus described a conflict between two things. On one side, humans want answers about life. On the other side, the universe gives no answers at all. He called this conflict the absurd. The absurd is the gap between our desire for meaning and the silence of the universe. When people become aware of this, they often try to escape it. Some people turn to religion or belief systems. These give them purpose, rules to follow, and hope for something beyond this life. Others do not accept such beliefs, but instead of facing the absurd, they feel overwhelmed by it. For them, life starts to feel completely pointless. In extreme cases, this can lead to suicide. This is why Camus said that suicide is the most serious philosophical problem. He described two types of suicide. The first is physical suicide, which is ending one's life. The second is philosophical suicide, which is escaping into beliefs that remove the discomfort of the absurd. According to Camus, both are ways of avoiding the truth. One ends life, and the other replaces reality with comforting ideas. Camus rejected both options. Instead, he said that we should accept the absurd and continue living. He argued that just because life has no meaning, it does not mean that it is not worth living. In his book, The Myth of Sisyphus, he explains that people often confuse these two ideas. They think that a meaningless life must be a worthless life, but this is not necessarily true. A life can have no ultimate meaning and still be worth living. In fact, Camus believed that constantly searching for meaning stops us from fully living. When we are always looking for a bigger purpose, we ignore the present moment. So the question becomes, how should we live if life has no meaning? Camus answered this by introducing the idea of the absurd person. An absurd person is someone who understands that life has no ultimate purpose, but still chooses to live fully. This person does not try to escape the truth. Instead, they accept it. According to Camus, the absurd person has three main qualities: revolt, freedom, and passion. First, revolt. Revolt does not mean anger or violence. It means refusing to give up. The absurd person does not accept suicide, either physical or philosophical. They accept that life has no meaning, but they continue living anyway. This is a kind of inner resistance, a decision to keep going even without a reason. Camus explains this idea through the character Meursault from his novel The Stranger. Meursault is a man who does not pretend. He does not fake emotions or follow social expectations. When his mother dies, he does not show grief. When he commits a crime, he does not show regret. Because of this, people see him as strange and cold. Eventually, he is sentenced to death. While he is in prison, a chaplain tries to convince him to believe in God. The chaplain wants him to find meaning before he dies. But Meursault refuses. He does not want false comfort. He chooses to accept reality as it is, even at the end of his life. In this way, he stays true to himself. He does not escape into belief. Even though he is facing death, he remains honest. That is why, in a sense, he dies as a free man. The second quality is freedom. When we accept that life has no ultimate meaning, we become free from the pressure to find one. We no longer feel forced to justify our existence. We are not chasing some hidden purpose anymore. Camus Camus called this living without appeal. It means not expecting anything beyond this life to give it meaning. This kind of freedom allows us to focus on the present moment. We stop looking for answers that may not exist, and we start experiencing life directly. The third quality is passion. If life is short and has no ultimate meaning, then the best way to live is to experience it fully. The absurd person does not wait for a future reward. They do not live for something beyond this world. Instead, they focus on living intensely in the present. Camus gave a few examples to explain this idea. The first example is Don Juan. Don Juan lives his life by enjoying relationships and experiences. He does not search for one perfect love or a deeper purpose. He values each moment for what it is. Many people see his life as shallow, but Camus argues that Don Juan does not need a higher meaning. The experience itself is enough for him.
The second example is the actor. A stage actor lives many different lives through different roles. Each performance exists only in the present moment and does not last forever. The actor knows that nothing they do will remain. Still, they fully commit to each role. They experience life intensely, even if it is temporary. The third example is the conqueror. The conqueror takes action even while knowing that everything will eventually disappear. All achievements will fade over time. Empires fall, success does not last forever. But the conqueror continues to act, not to create permanent meaning, but to experience life itself. The goal is not lasting success, but the act of living. All these examples show the same idea. They live in the present without depending on hope for something beyond it. Camus makes an important distinction here. Being without hope is not the same as being hopeless. Hopelessness comes from wanting something and not getting it. It leads to despair. But in the absurd sense, means not depending on the future for meaning. It means accepting life as it is. This can actually feel freeing, because when you stop expecting life to have meaning, you are no longer disappointed when it doesn't. So is a meaningless life worth living? According to Camus, the answer is yes. Not because life has a hidden meaning, but because living itself is enough. The absurd person accepts the conflict between the desire for meaning and the silence of the universe. They do not try to solve it. Instead, they live with it. They continue living, not because they have a reason, but because they choose to. In the end, Camus does not offer a clear purpose for life, but he offers something else, a way to live honestly, without illusion. And in that honesty, we may find a different kind of freedom, a freedom to live, to experience, even without meaning.